Welcome, welcome to Conversation with Delores. I'm so glad you took the time out your busy schedule to listen in on the conversation that I'm going to have tonight with another bookkeeper and a tax preparer. So listen in. If you're interested in that type of business, keep your ears open and listen in on this conversation. But let me do an announcement before she comes in here. As you know, entrepreneurs, this year I'm interviewing entrepreneurs who have stepped out on faith, doing what God has called them to do with the gifts and skills and talents that they have. And so if you're interested in that, please give me an email, shoot me an email to cwdelores, that's DELORES, @gmail.com, or you can call at 903-329-1636, or you can send me a message by messenger with the Facebook. All right. And then on the first Tuesday of the month, we will have Bible class. So look out for that post when I do for the Bible class, because we do have homework for that. And then also on the first Saturday of the month, I do prayer with Delores. So please join in with me on that. Now, if you're a prayer warrior, you want to join in and you want to pray, just go ahead and send me a message on that, on either way of those emails or a messenger, or you can text me. And then also the other Tuesdays of the month, we will have interviews with entrepreneurs. So if you're interested, any one of those areas, Bible class, prayer, or even a conversation, just go ahead and email me, text me, or shoot me a messenger. All right. Go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube, because I put it on YouTube podcast. So we do have a new podcast that's out there now. And then I do put it on Twitter and Instagram. So follow me on all those social media platforms. And as you know, for this month, I have bringing on people who work with the software QuickBooks and tax. And so if you're interested in any one of those, and even if you want to, if you're in that and you want to learn more about QuickBooks, you can always give me a call concerning that.
All righty. So let me read her bio and then we will get right into it. All right. So Angela's birthday was last Tuesday, and happy belated birthday. We did give you a shout out last Tuesday. Happy birthday. And I wouldn't tell your age, but welcome to that section of age bracket. But anyway, in 2019, Angela started her bookkeeping business using QuickBooks Online software. Before opening her business, Angela was an area manager for a personal tax preparation company, and the knowledge she received led her to want to open her own bookkeeping company. Prior to bookkeeping and tax returns, Angela has been in restaurant area manager to a life skill coach. One of Angela's strongest passion is working with young parents between the ages of 10 and 15 by empowering the young adults to make life choices to succeed. Very good. She has a Bachelor of Science degree from Oklahoma State University. Angela feels strongly that your outlook on life can do one of two things: hold you back or set you up. The choice is yours. She was once told that life was never meant to be this hard. That thought has stuck with her throughout her life. We are put here on earth to help each other, to be the hands to lift a hand to others, to reach them up, and to teach others what we have learned along the way. Very good. And Angela has a big heart. If you need to see something, she's there. Believe me. She's a very lovable person. I've been knowing her for about 2.5 years, probably.
Yeah, we've been working together about 2.5 years.
She's another one that works at the same company that I work with. At this time, I'm going to give the floor to Angela and let her have her way to encourage us to step out on faith using the gifts and skills and talents that God has given us for ministry or even in business. But we're going to let her have the floor. Go ahead, Angela.
Thank you, guys. So it's kind of hard to even where to start. We go through life and I like to think that we're wearing hats. It's not who we are, it's the role that we're playing at that time. Work in a restaurant, you're looked at as a restaurant employer. It's just a role. It doesn't, when I go home, I'm a mom, I'm a grandma, I'm all these other things. I'm not the hat that I'm wearing right then. And I think we get so caught up in the then and there, and we get uncomfortable with changes, and we get uncomfortable with taking that next step. And so that's kind of why I agreed to come on with Delores. Is I believe I could have started an accounting business, a bookkeeping business 15, 20 years ago when my kids were little. But because I was so scared and paralyzed by the unknown, the what ifs, and how was I going to do it, I did not make those choices. It actually took my youngest daughter graduated college. She moved out, and I was just like, what now? What now is for me? I didn't have the answers, but I knew that I liked to help people. I enjoy that. I enjoy, taking, like the littlest thing and seeing it grow, whether it's a plant or a business or a child or an idea, anything. I want to see it succeed. And even when I was working in the restaurant business, I always employed younger kids because that's kind of what your employee pool is. And I tried to tell them, yeah, I want you here. I want you to do your best. But there are things that come before this job, your education, your family, your religion, like what your goals are. And as long as the communication was there, we had an open communication, and they were able to work, go to school, kind of do that work balance. I wish someone had done that for me 30 years ago when I entered the workforce, because I was told, you have a job, be there, school doesn't count, family doesn't count, this is your schedule, we need you here. And I took that to heart, and I stayed with that until I started seeing that I wasn't here. I was at work, but I wasn't here. I wasn't present. I paid for everything. I raised my children, but was I there? And that kind of got me rethinking about my grandkids,
Right.
What do I want to give them? I want to be there. I want to go to the games. I want to go to the PTA meetings. I want to bake cookies. I want to be able to say, hey, let's take a grandma day and let's go to lunch.
Right.
But if you're struck into a work structure where we are led to believe you have to be here Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 o'clock, there's no deviating, you get a paycheck, you get a promotion, but at the end of your day, when you look back, what is it costing? And that's why I chose to do my bookkeeping business. It was the peak of COVID, obviously, and it was the unknown, and I didn't know what else could go wrong. I just started with one client, and he is my big success story right now, I guess. He literally came to me with a brown envelope of 3 years worth of records, had very little records, and now to see him, I mean, he's in 4 different states. He calls me and he's like, hey, I got to hire this guy. Can you help me? And to see that growth and that accomplishment, it's not only rewarding for him, but it's rewarding to me, because I know I may have not did the roof, and I probably didn't hire the employee, and I probably didn't do any of the dirty work, but I helped guide him. And that, that says a lot. And that's what, if we listen to God and we listen to the guidance, he's there. We just got to take his guidance for it. We can't, it's not all what we want to do. It's not, what we think is important, because I've learned in my life, if it's not supposed to be done, it ain't going to happen. You can stress yourself out to the highest. You can work 100 hours, but if God doesn't want it done, it ain't going to happen. And so I think that, working forward and deciding, do I want to do my own business? Is this what I want? What am I good at? What am I not good at? And what am I willing to do? And what am I willing not to do? And those are hard questions to ask when you want to start anything. School, buy a house, get a car, in a relationship, anything. You have to ask your questions like, what am I willing? What will I accept? And I think as women, we're not told you don't question that, or, it doesn't really matter. You're just going to be the worker or whatever. And I know this is 2023, and some of that's old thinking. The big 5-0 last week, so maybe that's what it is. But I do think that we need to be more empowerment to ourselves. Like, we need to know it's here. As far as, yeah, I could go manage another tax company, but it's not mine. I still have a set schedule. Or I could do my own business, and I can take that time off with my grandkids. I can go with the garden. I can do what I choose to do, and I choose what clients I take and which clients I don't take. So that always helps me a lot.
That is so good.
Yes, and when I was working with a nonprofit, it's called Birth Choice. My youngest client was 10, and I can't even tell you what my reaction when she came into the office, and she, she's pregnant, and I could have done 1,000 different things than what I did, but it wasn't my place to judge. It wasn't my place to point out, how did you get here? That part is solved. She's here. Right. So now it is our job as, we're life skills, or anybody that comes across her, she's judging herself. Let's help her grow. And then that's when the success story happens. Your past isn't your future. Mm-hmm. That's just where you've been. Where you're going is what counts to me.
Amen. Amen to that.
Yes. Yeah. You can do 1,000 things a different way, but if you don't do it, with joy and what you want to do, it's not going to work. And you got to do it with the success, and know that I'm going to go to that next step. It's hard. I've made a lot of mistakes along the way. Oh man, a lot.
Haven't we all?
Oh man. Yes. I mean, even in Delores, in our position of what we do, when we do things, we're learning every day, and it's forever changing. And that's how life is. That's how life is. Life is not consistent. It's not a can of green beans every time you open it up. It's not going to be 6 ounces of green beans and 3 ounces of juice. It's not going to happen. So you've got to learn to bob and weave and go with it and stay on track.
Go with the flow.
Go with the flow, but take control, girl. Don't just don't be a sailboat. Don't be a sailboat. Yeah, you gotta keep going. And you mentioned a long time ago, I was told that life shouldn't be this hard, and doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people, but it means a lot to me because I was a single mom. Mm-hmm. And I wanted my kids to do everything. I wanted them to do camps and sports and, whatever. And so I always managed. There was always a way. But this one time, it was a camp. And it was kind of an expensive camp. And, normally I could save up for it or whatever. But this just kind of sprung open. And I could pay for it the next day. The next day I could pay for it. But the hard deadline was that day. And I struggled with that because I didn't want to tell my daughter no. So what I did was I went. And I thought, I'm just going to go in person. I'm going to go down there, and I'm going to say, is there any way that I can just pay tomorrow? And this lady, and it still, it just like makes me cry. I just want to hug her, she said, no, you can't. She said, but I'm going to tell you what. I can see you're trying, and I can see you didn't want to come down here no more than anything else. She said, but life shouldn't be this hard. I'm going to waive all the entry fees, and you bring your daughter to camp tomorrow, and don't think nothing else of it. And that stuck with me. That stuck with me a lot.
Wow, praise God.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, yes. I think I cried all the way. And it wasn't like a pity party cry because I don't accept help very well. But why? Why don't we? Why don't we offer help? Why don't we accept help? Why don't we encourage to help others? Mm-hmm. And so, it's not about me climbing a ladder faster than you. It's about my ladder being different than yours. Let me show you what I've learned along my climb.
Right.
So it's yes. I want to share my knowledge, and in the turnaround, I'm going to learn things from the other people that I talk to and that I work with and that I help and that I'm interacting with. I learn every day, and sometimes I have to laugh at myself because the old way of thinking and the today's way of thinking is so different sometimes. Like, it's like, what was I thinking?
Yes.
Like, why did I do these things? So that is kind of my, can't really say, that's just my out view, how I look at things. It's important to be a village, and that village doesn't have to be in my town. That village can be whoever is out there that needs the assistance. And I'm not talking about writing a check, but let me show you how to do these things. Let me help you these things, So
I told you she has a big heart. Didn't I tell you she has a big heart?
I do, but and we have a tendency, women with big hearts, we have a tendency to get, we learn, we get taken advantage of, but you can't let that hold you back, because you just got to be selective and show and encourage. And it's not, I don't have to pay your rent, but let me help you get a better job. Let me help you build a resume. Let me help you build a budget. These are things that are lifelong skills that people need to learn. I had to learn it. My kids have to learn it. Delores, I'm sure you've learned it. We've all learned these things, right?
Right. And she's a big family person, and I love that too.
Oh yes, family is first. And the family doesn't necessarily mean blood by any means. We have family members that they've just been around. They were at one time. It's kind of silly. My daughter dated a kid in high school, a really good kid, and we stay in contact with him. They were young. It didn't matter. He's a good kid. To see him succeed is just as enjoyable to see my own kid succeed.
Right.
And they're welcome in my home, and come over. What do you need? Knock on my door if you're hungry. I'm gonna feed you. Now, it might not be what you like, because I cook some weird stuff, but it's gonna be good.
She's very creative. You have a garden. She's been trying.
I do, and it lived through the Oklahoma summer, which is a miracle. I was out there today. I'm still picking okra, still picking tomatoes. What else? I got some cilantro and basil still going on, and all that. Normally, the cooler weather, it helps it out, but we've just had so much heat, it hadn't done very well this year. So, but it's been fun. Wonderful. And I'm able to give. Like, I love we have a gentleman that lives, I guess it would be called the next house, and I love to give him the zucchinis and the cucumbers and just stuff. He just loves it, he just loves it. So
I told you she has a big heart. Too bad I live right next door.
Yeah,
I have a question for you.
Thank goodness.
So how would you start your bookkeeping company or your tax company? How did you start?
Total by fluke. It was 2019, and the company that I worked for did not, well, it kind of started prior to that. The idea was planted. So it was, I guess, about 2017. And clients would come in, and their books were a mess, or they didn't have what they needed. Stuff was missing, and they kept saying, I just can't find a good accountant. I can't find a bookkeeper. No one understands my business, or whatever it was. And I kept thinking, I kept going to my boss, okay? And I say, hey, I think we really should offer bookkeeping. I feel like it would be a really good addition to our company. Oh no, it's too much trouble. It's more than it's worth. No one, and he was a CPA. No one understands the bookkeeping. It's just the bank, and he just kind of underplayed it. But I was interested in it. I hadn't done bookkeeping before. I hadn't done anything really related other than tax returns. And I started looking. And I found some software, and I was trying to help the client at that point. I was trying to educate them. Like, this is what I found. Come in, and I'll help you set it up. And it was so interesting to me to see it all come together. And then one of the clients, and she has a nonprofit called Donate a Miracle in Norman. And she said, I just don't have time. I cannot do this. Is there any way I can pay you to do it? I went back to my boss and I said, hey, she's a tax client. We've done her taxes for 10 years. Let's, maybe we should offer this service, for her. And again, he was like, no. So it gave me the idea, like, if he's not going to, and she can't find someone, why couldn't I do it? Like, just separate. And so I kind of started helping her out and doing it. And then 2019, it was, everything came out of office and there was no face-to-face. And I didn't know how to get the information I needed from clients to do their tax returns because our offices were closed. And so I started looking at different options and stumbled upon the QuickBooks Pro Advisor series, and I did that. And I got my clients linked up with it, and then I decided to just do it on my own. My company still does not do bookkeeping. They are no longer in business.
The company that you were working for.
Yes. Yeah. And as a result, I did have to wait a year. I would like to add that I did have a year non-compete, so I did it all like I was supposed to. So for a year, I stayed in communication. The clients called me. I did not call them, and I would give them advice. I would help them, not charge them, but just give them advice. I developed a relationship with them. And so then I launched my business in 2019, and I said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this off the property. And the boss said, oh, you're not going to like it. There's no money in it. It's more trouble than it's worth. But to me, just like taxes, it's a big puzzle. Like finances are a puzzle. And I find it very interesting and I enjoy it. So maybe not as glamorous for some people or some businesses, but this is what I enjoy, and it's relaxing.
Yeah, you get fulfilled once you unravel that puzzle and you put it together and you say, oh, it's a beautiful picture.
Yeah, when I get that little green check mark, if anybody's a QuickBooks user, they know. That's like the happy, Or when I do a review and they've all got these little payrolls done, this is done, I'm like, yeah.
Financial nerd here. Okay.
But I don't only do monthly bookkeeping, because some people can't afford that. I also teach how to set up your books, and I'll go to your office and we'll sit down and I'll help you do those things, because it's not always about me. It's about wanting that company to succeed. And sometimes in the startup, you don't have the money for an accountant, right? But you need help.
Yes, and you have to have your books together.
Right, and you'll be surprised how many come back to me or refer me because I did that. Because I went to their office. I helped them set up. So, you got to think outside the box. And I mean, how many no's did I hear from my boss, who was a CPA, who had 13, I think 16 at the time, went down to 13 that year, accounting office, tax prep offices.
Wow.
And he just didn't see the value in it. And, it was a hard no to him. And I accepted it a couple times, and I was like, but I mean, they're asking for us to help them. And we hear that a lot, Delores. I'm sure you hear it a lot. I can't find an accountant. I have too many clients, and you're like, man, if you are out there and you understand books or accounting, and you don't have to have an accounting degree or a CPA. If you understand or you're willing to learn it, this is an excellent remote working business for you. I mean, I don't have to meet my clients. I do prefer business, face to face, but some people don't want to come in. So I get it.
Can you tell them how they can get free QuickBooks training?
To the Pro Advisor, for the like a bookkeeper?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can go online to QuickBooks Online, and you're going to go into select an accountant. So when you log in as QuickBooks Online, there's a drop down on the right hand side, and you're going to choose the accountant's version. This is a free version. You don't have to have clients. You don't have to have an accounting degree, no experience. And you're going to set up a free Pro Advisor account. And the awesome thing about this is there's two things. All your clients will be there, and all your training will be there. So once you set it up, you're just going to name your business, and then you're going to choose your training modules, which are in Delores, is that the benefits section up top? Yes.
The Provider, you're just going to click on the link that says Provider, and then they have two options, which is the benefits and the training. And when you go into the training, this is free training. You just have to do it your own self. You know, just take the time out and train yourself on QuickBooks. And once you train yourself, and then too, they also, sometimes they have webinars where you can go.
They do. Yeah. There's a lot going on right now if you've looked on there lately. There is a lot.
So it's based on you. If you really want this and you want free training, you don't have to go to college or anything like that. Get your free training, get it, and then get your own. Then you have to take the exam for certification. And it's QuickBooks Online certification. You can get that. And then once you do that, then you can go on to the next one, which is advanced. And then they have payroll, have all other little benefits training on there you can do. And then once you do that and you pass your certification and you want to just start your own business, that's all you can do. Just do one client, right?
Right. Start with one. Don't go out there and this is what I see a lot when I talk to people about, hey, I want to do that. I want to be a bookkeeper. You make it look so easy. They're not satisfied with the one because I only got one client, right? Well, we all got to start somewhere. So start with that one and do a really good job. Keep your main job. Okay, you got to have income. We all got to pay bills. Keep your main job. Get that one client and do the best job you can. If you don't know the answer, research it. Trust me, there's everything out there. This is 2023. It's on the web. Trust me. Research it. Find the answer. Find how to do it. And when you do a really good job for that client, they're going to open up. They're going to say, man, my cousin Ben started a trash removal service. Can you help him? Or, it has to start somewhere. You can't start up. You're not going to get 250 clients just for taking a test. You got to prove yourself. So start with one. Don't downplay what you have and always build from where you're going.
That's good. That's good. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right. It was good information. Do you have anything else you would like to share with us for people who want to start tax services? I know we talked about QuickBooks Online, but tax services too.
So here's my take on this. Everything comes with a price. I can enroll in a tax class, and most companies are going to charge me crazy amounts. I can enroll in a pro advisor. There's classes that teach you to take these tests on pro advisor account, and they're quite expensive. They're $4,000, $5,000, $7,000. Or you can do the free version, which is the same thing. Okay, guys, it's the same test. You still have to pass the same test. The training's all there, just like tax prep. I started tax prep just out of curiosity. In 2011, I paid for a tax return. It was $910. And as I sat across from that lady right at checkout for $910, she couldn't tell me why it was so expensive, and I didn't know the questions to ask as to why it was so expensive. It did not make sense to me. I found a free tax class. I see them offered all over my state. I know that they're in other states. I would not pay for a tax class unless die hard, this is what you want to do. I say the most thing is get your feet wet. Go do one tax season in a tax office. Take their free tax class. Go set 1 year, one tax season in that seat before you decide to open a tax office. It's not all about just getting people in there and getting their money. You got to do it right, and you got to know what you're doing. You got to make sure you can handle it, because it can be stressful, but it's awful rewarding when you can actually do a proper return and get them what they are entitled to get back. That's another thing, another issue that we'll save for another day. It's not always about getting the money back. It's about getting a proper return. But yeah, I say don't pay for the class. Find one if you're just going into it. Find a free one.
And also let them know if you are going to go with, let's say Jackson Hewitt, Liberty, or something like that. You have to sign something before you when you start with them, because once you stop, you can't just go start your own business. So make sure you know what that information is. Sometimes it's a year you have to wait, because you can't be in competition with them. You want to talk on that for a moment?
Right. That is so. I had a non-compete, a non-disclosure non-compete. I Every one of my employees signed that, I work for Liberty Tax. That's the guys that have the waivers that stand out in the street. So everyone from my waivers to the people that did the marketing had to sign a non-compete. So before you start that, I know some other companies do a 3-year non-compete and some companies do a 1-year non-compete. You want the training. Do not sign up for a class that's going to do a Saturday morning training. You're not going to learn it. You're going to be frustrated and stressed out. Training classes are starting right now. They usually start, September. Get in there, call your local offices if you want to do this and say, hey, do you have a free tax course? They'll sign you up. It's required. I know for a fact the Liberty Tax, where they were required to host 3 training classes with at least 12 students in it from September, October, November. It's a 12-week class. It sounds like a lot. It's a lot to learn. So all I can say is don't pay for it. Call Liberty, call Jackson Hewitt, call H&R Block. They all do the same thing. They want students in there because that's where they hire from. So that's why they offer the free class.
All right. Right. Well, thank you so very much, Angela, for all that information.
You're very welcome.
You're quite welcome. And if you are interested in this and tax and bookkeeping, go ahead and listen to this. If you have not, listen to the replay when you come back on to get information so you can go out and start your business. Take that free classes, so just to get your feet wet, so you can know how it feels in the office and working with people before you start your own business. All right. And also for bookkeeping, just go right your free training. So just jump right there and take the time out and train yourself. Just read and you will get your certification. Believe me, we did it.
We did it. Delores and myself, we done it. We did it together, some of this. Yeah.
How long we was in training at my company?
I keep saying 16 weeks. Do you think it was 16 weeks?
Felt like 5 months. We went through everything. Anyway, so now we help accountants, so that when they call in, we assist them. So if you have any questions, Angela, how can they get in contact with you?
I'm on Facebook with Delores. It's Angela Grant. You can just send me a message through Facebook. I'll give you any of their pro advisors. If you need help finding a free tax course in your area, I can help find that for you. I have a lot of resources just because of what I do. People all the time asking me, hey, how did you get this? How did you get there? And, the best place is I wouldn't sign up for a 2-year school. I would go to the free training and make sure it's something you want to do. Right. So yeah, just very good. Facebook me is probably the best way.
Facebook you. All right. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right. Now I know she has a lot of clients already. Right, so
I do.
You have room for any more?
At this time, I do not. So I have a comfortable number that I try to keep, and it's so that I can serve them well. I can work, but also I can respect my family's boundaries and still never go back to working 18-hour days and missing stuff. So I have a cap, and I have to stick to it. And I do. Every now and then I'm like, oh, but they really need help.
I know. Especially during tax season.
Yeah.
You have to make yourself say no. Yeah.
I do. Yeah. But I will help, and I will offer any kind of guidance that I can. We'll meet for lunch. I'm going to help you set up. I can do those things for you. But as far as, doing a full-fledged, bookkeeping for the year at this time, I do not. And I'm blessed to say that, because trust me, it could be the other way around very easily. I could be struggling and only have one client or no client. So, I'm glad that I have that opportunity, and I'm glad that my clients trust me enough with their information, because it is a lot of information.
Yes, it is. You just have to be very confidential with all the information that you receive. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for listening in. Thank you, Barbara Sephora. Thank you all for listening in to Conversation with Delores with our special guest, Angela Grant. And God bless you, Angela, for coming on and sharing your information with each and every one of us. Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, can you pray us out?
Yes. Lord, I want to thank you for giving me guidance, direction, and clarity and wisdom and the truth, your truth. I want to thank you for giving me the steps that you've guided me to take. I want to thank you for allowing me to make my choices, but allowing me not to mess up your plan. And God, most of all, I want to thank you for this opportunity just to empower one person to succeed, one person to continue, and one person to try something out of their comfort zone so that they can have a better life and be there for for the children. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Thank you.
Amen. Amen. It was a pleasure to have you on, Angela. We're going to have you on again sometime so you can share with the other news that you have to
I
share with
have
us.
some big upcoming news. I
I
just can't share yet. I'm so excited.
She told me, but we can't tell you all. But we'll have her on again so she can share it with us. All right. God bless each and every one of you for listening in to Conversation with Delores. And we will see you next Tuesday. We have one more person that it does taxes, QuickBook Online, and then she has a nail business too. So we're excited about that. So we will see you next Tuesday if God says the same. And then the following month of October, we have 2 special guests already. I'm so excited about that. That's Elder Tiffany Harrison. And then we have a cousin of mine that will come on, Justin McLean. So I'm so excited about that. So if you are interested in coming on Conversation with Delores to share with us what God has gifted you with, please message me so we can share what the goodness of God has done for you with the gifts and skills and talents he's given you. Well, God bless you, and we'll see you next time. Good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.